All right. Hello and welcome, every fellow ramblers. As always, let me know if there's any volume issues, but we should be good to go. Looks like we've already got 40 people on, and we haven't even started. Well, anyway, yes, the formal welcome. Hello and welcome. My name is Richard, founder and designer here at Janus Motorcycles. I'm sitting here in our HQ, as we call it, 211 South 5th Street, right here downtown Goshen. I'm sitting where this is my desk, service bay in the back, and I did not ride number 68 in. It's raining here, but I am sipping on a Aperol Spritz, and yeah, that's my part of the deal. So if you are new to the Ramblestream, I encourage you to sign in, tell us your name or handle, where you're viewing from, what kind of motorcycle you're riding, even if it isn't a Janus, you're more than welcome, and what you happen to be sipping on this evening. That's a little, we like to all sit around and sip on things. Tonight, I got a relaxed program for us. We're going to cover builds of the week, news and events, and day one of my recent trip up the California coast. So, yeah. Let's take a look at some of y'all's comments on now. Scott Spence wins the First On award this evening. He was on at 6:30. And he says he's got a question on the rally. And Scott, the answer is yes, we want you here. So we can make arrangements for that to happen. Jordy says 450 number 44, former 250 Halcyon number 380 owner. Been putting some serious miles up in Wisconsin and have a question. What, if any, celebrities besides us own a Janus? To which my response here, we were chatting before we got on, is, good question, Jordy. I don't know if there are any other celebrities. Probably the biggest celebrity that I'm aware of is country bluegrass-ish musician Tyler Childers and his wife, who both got Janus 250s. He got a Halcyon and she got a Phoenix. That was a couple of years ago. Other comments, we got Jared Williard, evening all, Halcyon 450 number 233, drinking raspberry nectarine sparkling water. He says he's having some issues with his bike here. Hope to get it repaired. Well, just let us know how we can help you out. We will take care of you. David Hyde, number 387 Halcyon from, that must be a 250, from Patterson, New York, drinking Cabernet Sauvignon. So happy to be here. Well, it's great to have you on. Welcome. Jordy says, another question. Are there Jani in all 50 states? I think this may have been noted before. Yes, we have a Janus in all 50 states and in at least one territory. So there, and several countries. Later on, you said, I'm guessing no Hawaii, lower 48. No, we have one in all 50. So we have several in Hawaii, several in Alaska, and then multiple in just about every other state. There may be a couple of states with only one in them, but it isn't Hawaii and Alaska. They are everywhere. We have, 17, I don't know how many hundred bikes out there now, which is pretty incredible. It's not a whole lot if you think about typical vehicle manufacturers, but it's a lot of motorcycles if you consider the number of people working here and building them. When you think that Ryan, our senior builder, has probably built over 1,000 motorcycles. Just think, I have to think about that every once in a while and go, each one of those motorcycles takes anywhere from, when we first got started doing this, it took a week. Now we can do it in about 10 hours. That is many thousands of man hours assembling 250s and now 450 Janus. So yeah, we're in full swing right now. Ray says, from Taylorsville, Illinois, sipping Jack Daniels. In my stable are Halcyon 250, 1055, my Indian, my KLX 230, and my Honda 230. Great stable of rides there. Kelly Christman says, hello, Ramblers. Halcyon 450, number 236 out of Virginia, sipping on a classic Coke in a glass bottle and eating some pizza. Very good. Very good. Grant's on. He answers Scott's question. Jim Bledsoe. Hey, Goshen, Ohio gets your weather a few hours later. It's true. Rainy week coming up. Cut it out, please. Well, we get Lake Michigan's weather about 3 hours later, so blame it on that. Straw Dog. Halcyon 250, number 769 in New Hampshire, sipping on a tonic water. Nice, nice. I got a notice that my Sergeant seat has shipped. Fantastic. Yes, Sergeant, the 250 Sergeant seats are shipping, and I can tell you from experience, it's amazing. I don't think that if you want to just buy a Janus and tool around that you necessarily need the Sergeant seat. However, if you plan on putting any serious miles on your Halcyon, it is a life-changing experience. I was able to ride a 250 with a 450 seat for the recent video we did, the Purgatory Ramble, and it was great, wonderful, but it wasn't until I rode 600 or so miles last week or 2 weeks ago out in California that I realized at the end of a 12-hour day that I had zero fatigue, butt fatigue. What an incredible change that is over a stock seat. And it's better than most motorcycle stock seats. Sergeant specializes. They don't really typically make production seats for OEMs. They're typically an aftermarket seat. So it wasn't until riding that many miles that I realized, wow, I didn't even have to reposition myself. When I have done some long distance riding like Iron Butt, 20,000 miles in 24 hours, or when I rode cross country, I mean, by 6 hours in, you are hanging off one side for 5 minutes, then the other side, then you sit back, then you sit forward, then you just bear it. Yeah, it's an experience, but I didn't even think about it. That's how comfortable it was. So really fantastic. Kelly says, I also own a 2013 Ultra and a 2006 Heritage, both Harley Davidsons. Very nice. Roger's on. He says, Halcyon 250 number 1018, Sturgis Road, sipping on some cran apple. Fantastic. Good to have you on, Roger. Joel. Hey, Joel. Joel's on. Old Man 1, Halcyon 450 number 218, Griffin 450 number 1 coming up soon, and he's in Kansas City drinking water. Rowan is on. Haven't seen you on in a couple of Ramble streams, or at least commenting, that is. Good evening, all. Rowan with Origin 1 in NorCal, sipping on cold mocha. Had a great birthday morning ramble yesterday. Well, happy birthday. Local stuff. Just enjoyed the ride. Fantastic. That's wonderful. Tom Lathrop, evening all. Burlington, Wisconsin. Griffin 250 number 149, Halcyon 250 number 1008, 2017 ZX14R, nice, 98 HD Ultra Classic, 96 HD Dyna Lowrider, 87 Virago, cool. Now that's a neat bike. He's drinking seltzer water, loving Griffin 149. She is a hill climbing beast, wonderful. Barb is on. She says, hello all, waiting on delivery of Halcyon 450 number 278 here in Oregon, sipping on my Cider Boys Grand Mimosa on this beautiful May day. That's right, it's a day there. It's winding down here. Mark McGee, Anna Cortez, Washington, Halcyon JM997, Lagunitas Pale Ale. Good afternoon. Well, good afternoon to you too, Mark. Jim says, Halcyon 450 number 163 got its leather sealed up and buffed out shiny beautiful with a microfiber. Thursday looks like a good day to visit the Amish in western Pennsylvania to collaborate on a luggage rack bag. Fantastic. Well, you should send us pictures. I'd love to see what you come up with. And what kind of product did you use on the leather? Dan says, Dan Rademski, Halcyon 450, number 235, sipping LaCroix bubbly water. Fantastic. Mark T. just picked up number 780 used from Prescott, Arizona. Seltzer water. Well, welcome if you haven't been on, Mark, and I apologize if I don't recognize your name on here, but welcome to the Ramblestream and welcome to the Janus family, and congratulations on your Halcyon 250. That's fantastic. Do let us know if you have any questions or need anything on your bike. We're happy to help. He said he's just ordered a Stage 4 kit. He's ready to rumble. New West Technologies Incorporated. Wonderful weather over here, and I think I recognize that handle. Wonderful weather. He says, wonderful weather over here in Vancouver, Washington. Halcyon 250 Outlaw. Oh, that's Eric. Hey, Eric. Recognize that handle and that bike. Charles is on. Olaf from the Eastern Shore. Halcyon 250, number 454. Phoenix 250, number 30. Griffin 450, number 4. Drinking iced tea. Coffee, sorry. Good to see you, Charles, as always. Hope everything is doing well out there. It's probably a little darker on the Eastern Shore than even here. Richard Brown says, hi, Richard. It's Ricky B. in Arizona this week. 100 degrees, sipping on an A&W root beer. Well, I am happy to report that it is not 100 degrees here, although your 100 degrees in Arizona is probably not as humid as it would be in northern Indiana. Jeremy Orvik. Hey, Jeremy. Good to see you. Jeremy was our kind host when we were out in Santa Cruz, and we will be. You'll be learning more about Jeremy and all his hobbies. Not all of them. Some of his more unique hobbies in an upcoming testimonial. Good to see you, Jeremy. Speaking of balmy weather, I've been bragging about Santa Cruz. I asked, man, it's so nice out, and everybody's like, well, yeah, it was about 60 degrees and sunny, and everybody in Santa Cruz was saying, yeah, when it gets really hot, it's about 10 degrees warmer than this, and it's kind of like this for like 10 months out of the year. Pretty ideal, especially for growing bonsais, right? Or certain kinds, I guess. Willard Small, Halcyon 250, number 805, Hazy Imperial IPA, Juicy Monkey in South Jersey. Oh, I forgot to mention that Jeremy is drinking coffee, no chaser, today. 450, number 214, which I got to ride. Jimbo says, greetings all. Greetings to you. Charles Selman, hello all. Chuck from San Francisco, Griffin 124, just poured a Lost Republic rye. Charles, if you've been on, I apologize, but welcome if you haven't. Good to see you. Lots of West Coasters on here this evening. Paul Rogers, waiting for Halcyon 250 number 1076, Fort Lauderdale. Welcome, Paul. It's good to have you on the Ramblestream. This is great. We got what appears to be a lot of new names. And I apologize if you've been on before and I don't recognize you. Show up for a couple of them and I'll know exactly who you are. We got Perry. We're going to get through these. Wow. No, we're not going to get through these comments yet. We're going to take a break and we're going to do our poem because we got a lot of comments. We have 70 people on right now. Got a lot on. Okay. So last week we read, what did we read last week? It was one about a bird. I actually forgotten. It reminded me of a Richard Wilbur poem. Oh, it was a Robert Penn Warren. Well, I can't find it right now. But it was a Robert Penn Warren poem that who was describing, what was he describing? It looked like an ocean. Below the trees looking up. That's what it was. Oaks. And so I thought it reminded me of a poem by Richard Wilbur called Still Citizen Sparrow. And it is about imagining, like the Robert Penn Warren poem was imagining you're lying at the bottom of the ocean looking up, even though he's underneath a tree. This one is sort of imagining that a vulture is looking down on the earth, which is at the bottom of the ocean, as though he was a ship sailing on it. And it's one of my absolute favorites. I read a lot of Richard Wilbur poems, but Still, Citizen Sparrow by Richard Wilbur. Still, Citizen Sparrow, this vulture, which you call unnatural, let him but lumber again to air over the rotten office. Let him bear the carrion ballast up, and at the tall tip of the sky lie cruising. Then you'll see that no more beautiful bird is in heaven's height, no wider, more placid wings, no watchfuller flight. He shoulders nature there, the frightfully free. The naked-headed one, pardon him, you who dart in the orchard aisles, for it is he devours death, mocks mutability, has heart to make an end, keeps nature new. Thinking of Noah, child heart, try to forget how for so many bedlam hours his saw soured the song of birds with its wheezy gnaw, and the slam of his hammer all the day beset the people's ears. Forget that he could bear to see the towns like coral under the keel, and the fields so dismal deep. Try rather to feel how high and weary it was on the waters where he rocked his only world and everyone's. Forgive the hero, you who would have died gladly with all you knew. He ruled that to act. All men are Noah's sons. I mean, in reading this, the part about imagining the vulture as Noah, it doesn't come out as clearly, but that's definitely the memory I have of that poem, is imagining this vulture like a boat sailing over the world. Anyway, lovely poem with lots of, it folds back on itself with the bird song, and it's addressed to this little sparrow. Anyway, all right, a couple more comments, and then we're going to, yeah, we got time. Nobody's complaining about volume, so we're good here. All right. Perry Justin says, hello, Richard. Perry from Fort Worth, Texas. Halcyon 250, number 884, black coffee. Stephen Rice. Hey, guys. Raining here in Syracuse, too. Italian sausage on the grill and a Diet Coke tonight. Looking forward to tonight's stream. Jimbo says, Richard, tell Justin he's doing a great job with my new custom Halcyon 450 build. I will do that. I absolutely will. Justin is doing a fantastic job, especially welcoming new folks into the fold. Around the House with Danny, Wabash, Indiana. Tell us more. And welcome. Joel Schumacher, Halcyon 250, number 1038, only water tonight. Jeff Massey, Florida here, Halcyon HY 850, must be Halcyon 250 in Central Florida, Amber Ale. Good to see you, Jeff. Riggedy Alps, looks like there are a number of sequential Halcyon 450s in the house tonight. Cheyenne 234 is here. Fantastic. Tim Hagel, Santa Monica Mountains, California, Janus 250, number 418. Wow, that's a low number. And if you haven't been on, to the Ramblestream at least, welcome. Sipping a Diet Coke. My boss doesn't let us drink and work. That's right, y'all are a little earlier in the day. New West Technologies equals Eric Green under my work account. Great. Anonymous Biker USA. Janus is the boss. Love him. Thank you very much. Grant says, 1,600. That's about how many motorcycles we've built. Yeah. Let's see. Jordy Field says, outstanding. Well, the nicest one is in Illinois. Jeff says, our motorcycles aren't simply transport. They are works of art, literally. And aside from the motor, handmade. Fantastic. Rowan says, hi, Richard. Sorry I wasn't able to make it out to see you while you were here. That's all right. We'll make it happen one of these days. My stable has a Himalayan, this is Anonymous Biker, a Triumph Daytona 650, a Goldwing 1800, a Kawasaki Z900, Indian Scout, and I hope a Halcyon 450. Fantastic. Well, let's make it happen. Steve Rice says, at least it's not snowing in Syracuse. Reed is on Facebook. Reed, Halcyon 250, number 375 in Seymour, Tennessee, sipping a glass of Cabernet. Welcome, Reed. Racing the Sun, the Felix Brothers, Brosifs, sorry. Halcyon 450 number 120 and 121, sipping on a long drinks. Cheers. Dan says, get my ambassador cards today. Got my ambassador cards today. Wonderful. Very good. Well, put them to good use for us and reap the rewards. James Chadburn, Halcyon 250 number 644, somewhere north of Boston with a Cat's Meow IPA. Holly's on. Jeff and Holly here, Toledo, Halcyon 250s number 77 and 78 with how many thousand miles, Jeff? Over 30 on a 250, I believe. Yep. I think that's what we heard last week when you all were visiting. It was good to see you. And good to see you now. Brent says, hello from Mommy. Griffin 250 number 145, which was picked up, 2 weeks ago, Brent? He also has a Harley Davidson Fat Boy. He's drinking a mudslide. Jimbo 450 number 240, Future Custom Halcyon 450, Moto Guzzi Eldorado. Nice. Very nice. Seven Fish is multifarious. 1067 made it. Woody is a nice man. Well, that's an understatement. Jeremy says, Mark T, did you buy that one from a couple with two bikes? I don't know the answer to that one. Carl Mann's on. 450, number 39, sipping on iced tea. Good to see you, Carl. Good to see you, Jeremy. Yep. We got James Pohl is on. Man, their comments we're almost through here. Halcyon 250, number 71. Still, wow, number 71. Still running like a top. James P. in Denton, Texas. That is awesome to hear. Dennis Westendorf, awaiting delivery of Halcyon 450, number 275 in Sequim, Washington. Well, welcome to the Ramblestream, my friend and fellow Rambler. And come back on when you get your bike and let us know how you like it. Anonymous Biker says, gotta love the Janus way. Nice. Jordy, by the way, the red microphone looks super professional. Up the game. Yeah. Well, it's so far, I've been using this the whole time, but it's like out of the frame. So I'll put it up like this. Now, I have actually been thinking about upgrading my setup with a boom mic and maybe something to, I notice it's a little, if I get really close, it kind of pops a little bit, but it works. And we've done 40 episodes, over a year's worth of Ramblestream. So start with something on a budget and then work your way up. Barb, Dennis, I bet yours will be in the same delivery van. Yep. David Dixon, hey, good to see you. Manitowoc County, Wisconsin, with the Halcyon 450 number 266. Charles says, off the wall question. Is the Phoenix gearing and sprocket the same as the Halcyon? Yes, it is. It's identical. They're both certified under the same EPA certificate. So they share. One bike went through emissions. Actually, it was a Phoenix that went through EPA testing both times. So actually, the 450 was certified with a Phoenix chassis and tank, even though there does not exist a Phoenix 450 yet. It was kind of an amalgamation. Long story. I should do have I done a Ramblestream on EPA certification? That would be really fun, actually. But yeah. Since it's the same engine family, it has to be, it's essentially the same bike with different dress. So it has to be the same, unless we decided to do it separately, which would cost us twice as much. So we didn't do that. Smoky Mike, a bit late. Mike Summers, Halcyon 250, number 1020. Lemonade, also have a Ural Gear Up Honda Shadow 800. I love seeing what everybody else has in their garage other than a Janus. This is great. Very cool. Holly Bransner says, Jeff's got 32,000 miles, and she only has 16,000. 16,000 miles, Holly? That's fantastic. Both of you. 32,000 miles on a Halcyon. Very nice. Keep it going. Keep them rolling. Jeff says, I'm curious what the turnover is for Janus riders. I doubt many of us will ever sell these sweet rides. I won't. It's pretty low. It's pretty low. Every once in a while, we do see them come up. Sometimes someone doesn't ride them. A lot of the time when we'll see one, it'll have I have a Halcyon 50. I don't know if y'all can see. I can actually move the camera. Let's see. Right here. Right there. That is Halcyon 50 number 32. So that's Janus number 32. And it is, someone purchased it and they wanted us to go through it and make sure everything was operating correctly. And it had 14 miles on the odometer. And I guarantee you that I probably put those 14 miles on it, or Devin did, because that's about the length of our test loop. So if they do show up, sometimes people just don't ride them. James says, Smoky Mike, a few of us have Urals too. Seems like we all are attracted to the slightly different. Yes. You're attracted to leading links, front suspensions. I'm sure that's what it is. Brent says, yep, picked up 2 weeks ago, just shy of 400 miles on it as of tonight. We'll see you next weekend for DGR. Yes. Mark T. Jeremy Orvik, yes, that's correct. I drove it back down to Phoenix through Wickenburg, 100 plus miles for my first ride on this bike. I love the twisties with that thing. Lost your volume when you moved the mic. Oh, I turned the volume off. This thing's volume is too easy to adjust. Sorry, folks, if you can't hear me. Yeah, I definitely actually turned the volume down. So one more reason to get another mic. By the way, DGR from Goshen to Granger shown as 25 miles, but time is from 9:30 to 1400. Are we rambling along the way? Okay, great question. This is for let's just talk about DGR real quick. DGR is coming up on the 19th of May. It's Sunday morning. We are going to start here at the Janus HQ. If you're riding in the Sith Bend ride, 9 a.m., you should be here by 9. You're more than welcome to show up a little earlier. We'll have coffee and donuts. The ride leaves at 9:30. We're going to ride to Granger, which is an hour or two. It's not a long ride. At that time, the rest of the ride, which is organized by a bunch of Ducati riders and other riders, is going to keep going, and they're going to go up to Holland, Michigan. So it's quite a bit longer ride. We are not. You are more than welcome. Anyone's more than welcome to ride whatever they want, but most of the Janus crew will probably turn around in Granger and come back. So that's why there's a difference in time. But 9 a.m., be here if you're riding with Janus motorcycles. I'll just go ahead and talk about DGR real quick. So far, we have raised $5,579. We got another $5,000 to meet our goal, which I'm confident that we can do. I think in the last week last year, we raised quite a bit. So we have 26 riders who've contributed, and not all of them will be joining us in our ride. They are riding in their own rides. So if you are from California, like many of you are, Texas or Washington, that's okay. You can still join the Janus team and fundraise with us as a group. But if you'd like to ride in your own ride, go for it. That's fantastic. You don't have to ride all the way to Goshen to participate in the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride. If you would like a link to that, it's in the description if you're on YouTube. I don't know if it publishes the description on Facebook below the video, but if you just go to our website, on the most recent blog post on our website has all the information about how to sign up for the Janus Motorcycles DGR team. I should real quickly, for anyone on here who doesn't know what DGR is, it's the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride. It is a fantastic event that raises funds for men's mental health and prostate cancer, all the while providing an excuse for us to dress up in our finest and ride motorcycles. I think one of the aspects of it that's the most interesting to me is the fact that all around the globe, for a 12 hours or so, there are people riding in all the major cities all together in their finest on cool looking bikes. And it's just a wonderful event that anyone can participate in. You don't have to be a gentleman you can be a gentlewoman as well to ride in this event and contribute to a good cause. So for more, check our website, or if you're on YouTube, there's a link in the description below. Yep, thanks. I think we've got the volume figured out. Brent says, by the way, DGR from Goshen to Granger is shown as 25 miles, but time is 9:30 to 1400. Are we rambling along the way to Granger? Just answered that one. Jeremy says, congrats, Mark. I love their ad. Super reasonable price. Black one or cream? I didn't see the ad. Janus owners love Urals. I have a Ural gear up as well. Nice. Jordy Field says the turnaround is from a 250 to a 40. Actually, you're not wrong, Jordy. We have had most of the sales are from people upgrading from a 250 to a 450. Although you don't have to. The 250 is a lovely bike. I say so myself. David Lekyle, Lekay, I'm mispronouncing your name. I apologize, but it's great to see you. Tacoma, Washington. Lots of Washingtoners on. Griffin 250 number 150 and Honda Rebel 1100 baggers. Spin on Dr. Pepper. Nice. Sipping on Dr. Pepper. Rickety Alps stopped to fill up Cheyenne at a gas station in Winchester, New Hampshire, and met a Janus fan who said this was the first time he got to see one in person. That happens to me more and more. Happened in California quite a few times. Kelly says, I'm taking mine to the grave with me. Dale Levitt, I bought Halcyon 250 number 52 with 34 miles on it 6 months ago. Nice. Yeah, classic story. Jordy Field, literally every time I'm out on my 450, I get stopped by passersby with great comments. Not a time has gone by. Jeff says, at least be distinguished. Yes, well, we're all distinguished all the time riding a Janus. Okay, let's talk about what we built this week. Longest intro ever. If I can remember how to do this. There we go. All right, so first up, these are bikes we built this week that came off the stand. So not all of them are fully finished or wrapped up. They're just off the stand. This one does actually look like it is pretty much ready to go. It hasn't had probably saddlebags installed, etc., but it's ready to. That happens in the next room over. This is Jeremy. Halcyon 450 number 271 belongs to Jeremy, featuring our classic. I mean, this is probably, if you ask me, it's either black and gold or cream and gold, but I think cream and gold I'd like to be remembered for as a Janus color scheme. That's the color of my bike, Halcyon 250 number 68, and it's just a classic look. And it weathers so well. It's not the flashiest color by any means, but I've never seen one of our colors that looks as good if it's mistreated as much as I have. You can polish it up and it just looks fantastic. This is, by the way, an Origin build. So you can see here, if I can not, boy, I can really zoom in on that. That this has the outlined leaf logo here, feather logo, and the tank pinstripe, but no fender pinstripe. And this is an example of a Origin build. A lovely bike, everything included, except it doesn't have a lot of the options and upgrades that you can also get if you want to get a fully loaded Halcyon. Next up, we have, this is color. I've got several pictures of this one, and I'm not even sure this one's actually done yet, but I just wanted to share these pictures. This is a matte American blue Halcyon with ducktail fenders and gold pinstripe. Look at this bike. Cheese. It's a play on his name. Lovely customized fuel cap, and there it is. Look at that, frame matched. This is an eye catcher. The gold on this, man, quite a look. We're getting some really interesting bikes now that we have the opportunity to match frames. Next up, so this one, belongs to Paul, and it's Halcyon 450 number 272. Really stunning build. This is Halcyon 250 number 1072. It hasn't had the number plate painted yet, or the emblem painted on, or the final. Sometimes Kelly gets this on after the bike's been installed, but the tank's been installed. This is a Indy Racing green with gold pinstripe, ducktail fenders. That looks like maybe redwood leather. I can't quite tell. Redwood leather, and a brushed stainless steel exhaust with a book rack. And there's likely quite a bit more that's going to go on this bike in the next room. This is a fantastic, just classic Janus. I love those ducktails. By the way, this belongs to Timothy. Next up, we have Halcyon 250, number 1075. Hasn't got the exhaust put on it yet, but I wanted to feature that. I love the color scheme. This belongs to Amanda. We'll be headed to Amanda soon. And this is in our Charlevoix blue. This has black pinstripe with a silver feather logo and does not have the ducktail fenders. Standard fenders, book rack, black leather seat, and we shall see what the exhaust is going to be. But another really great looking build. I don't think I've ever seen the Charlevoix blue with black pinstripe. Really snappy looking. And I think this is the last one. This is Halcyon 250 number 1073, headed to Darwin. It's vintage. This is our vintage red color. The first Janus production Janus ever made was done in this color with this color pinstripe. So vintage red and gold, classic colors with saddle brown leather. And this is actually an Origin build. It's actually an Origin, even though it has somebody opted for to add the fender pinstripe, and other than that, it's pretty standard for an Origin build. Great looking bike though. And I think that's the end of our builds for this week. Let's take a quick look at the comments, make sure everything's going. Jordy says, agreed. I reflect on the 250 all the time, not sure which one I like better. I guess I'm going with a little more speed. He's referring to the 450 and 250. 1100 Revelations. Well, definitely haven't seen that handle on here. Welcome to the stream. He says, hello, I just want to know if you guys are considering designing and building a higher CC motorcycle. I have the Honda Revelation CMX 1100 and a little reluctant about going to a smaller bike at this point. We do not have any plans at the moment to go to a bigger bike. And if we do, it's probably not going to be anywhere near as big as your 1100. What we specialize in here are motorcycles that are very lightweight, that are very engaging, and that you get to use all the everything. So it's common for me when I'm riding any one of our bikes to redline rev it out, max out the speed, have fun. And most of the riding I've done, especially out in California, I was nowhere near maxing out the speed or power of the bike because I was on twisty roads, which is the best way to ride, or best kind of riding, in my opinion. And I think I share that with most of you all, rather than highway riding. So there are a lot of options out there if you want to get something that's really powerful, or more powerful than what we make. That's really kind of one of the main things that sets us apart from the handmade nature of the bikes. But I would encourage you to watch some videos on Janus, kind of understand a little bit more about our philosophy. And if you have the opportunity, test ride one. We can help you find somebody or a shop, or you can visit us. It's definitely you really have to set aside your modern motorcycle expectations and kind of return to a different understanding of what a motorcycle does. And what a motorcycle does for many people today is it's really loud, it goes pretty fast, and that's what they enjoy doing on it, and that's fine. That's great. I've gotten my enjoyment out of getting whiplash on a 1000cc bike. But what we're talking about doing here at Janus is providing a machine that is engaging, and that its goal is to take you from one experience to the next and try and help you to eke the most out of that whole process as you go along and create your own story. I know that sounds maybe a little overly poetic, but then we started this whole thing with a big poem. So that's kind of what we do here at Janus. I can't say we won't make a bigger bike at some point in the future, but I don't think we're really going to be making a 1200cc motorcycle or even a 1000cc anytime soon. We're very happy in this small displacement little corner that we inhabit. I hope that answers your question. And do ask more questions about that. You're talking here with a crowd of people with Janus bikes, so they're going to be able to tell you much more about it. Maybe you're less biased than from my mouth. Jeff says, cream and gold harkens to the classic European British style color, probably even more iconic than hunter green. At Elder for motorcycles? At Elder for motorcycles? I'm not sure. I almost chose that color scheme, but called an audible. I'm not sure what you mean. Went with charcoal and copper and red pen instead. Well, that's not bad looking either. You can't really go wrong. Jordy says blue and gold. Ooh, that's nice. Oh, that's the bike that we just showed. Carrie Snedden is on. Just got home. Hi all. Good to see you, Carrie. Jordy says Amanda killed it. Yes, didn't she? That's a great color scheme. Jeff Massey, love every single bike and how we personalize each for our own taste. Superb and key to the success of Janus. Yes, that's a big part of what we're trying to do as well. Jordy says, this week's build is my favorite portion of the blog. A close second is Richard's poems. Poems are growing on me. Well, I'm glad you'll appreciate it. 1100 Revelation says, I think your bikes are works of art and almost look too awesome to ride on a regular basis. They look like collectible bikes. Well, they may be, but they're certainly designed for riding, and that's what we do on them. Love the bikes. Planning on one day to come to Goshen from Europe to buy one. Mitch is in the house. He's trying to sneak in. We'll need for Richard to own it first, since I can only bring it back to Europe as a used bike owing to the Euro norm. Well, if that was all it took, we could definitely arrange something, but I have a feeling that it has to go through some more rigmarole than just being pre-owned. But anyway, welcome to the Ramblestream. I'm not even going to try and pronounce your handle, but Motorcycle Club and Adventures in Europe. Jeff says, 1100, ride it like you stole it. Small displacement makes you feel like you're going 100. That is true. It's a completely different experience. You really do feel it. Dan says, I wonder why people want a bigger Janus. I've never heard anyone ask for a 1200cc Vespa. They probably do. You just don't know it. I'm sure that it makes the Vespa engineers pull their hair out too. Jordy says, I agree, Dan. I would love to ride a Vincent 1000cc. Probably too old for that. But anyway, yeah. Daniel Vanderwood. Oh, great. Good to see you, Daniel. He's on Facebook. Good evening, Richard. Daniel from GR. Halcyon 53. Good to see you, too. Steve Rice says, how is the flat tracker build coming along? Boy, I'm not going to get to anything. I'm going through these comments. I got to go back and stop reading all the comments. But it's so good to interact with y'all. Flat tracker build's coming along. We're probably shipping out an engine tomorrow to Jordan and Blake. It's coming along. We're working through more details with that. Barb says, after owning a Suzuki Bandit 1200 back in my fast chick days, I am so happy to be getting a 450cc so I can slow down a bit and still look way cool. Awesome. That's great. The Felix brothers say, we ripped around on our 450s yesterday and we're always reminded of how quick and snappy these bikes are. I'm not sure I'd ever want more than a 450 engine on such a lightweight bike. Great point. Sweeney is Wild Pigs in English. Oh, okay. Wild Pigs. Is it a Harley club maybe? I don't know. And Jared says, my goal is to put 1 million miles on my Halcyon. Great. Awesome. Well, we'll help you get there. Okay. We don't have much time left, but I wanted to give you all a quick little rundown of the first day of my California trip up the coast. And so this is, luckily, we don't have much time. That's okay, because I didn't take many pictures. I took a lot of video, and you all will be seeing that soon. We're going to be coming out with actually Jeremy's testimonial video first, and then we're going to roll into the first well, not the first, we're going to do the whole trip in one video. It'll be probably a longer video, 25 minutes or so, kind of a long form video. And I'm really excited about it. We're kind of experimenting with some new techniques. I kind of wrote a script for it, and yeah, it's going to be a little different, and I'm really excited to see how it comes out. I'm so excited to see how the footage came out. But I didn't take many photos because I was taking a lot of video. Here is the bike. Well, let me show you the route real quick. Let me pull this up. There we go. So here we are in the Midwest, and let's take a look at California. So this is day one of my trip. So I started off so this is Los Angeles down here. Let's zoom out. This is Los Angeles down here, and up here at the north side of this little bay is Santa Cruz. So right south of the Bay Area, San Jose is right here. San Francisco's up at the top of the map. And so my ride was up the coast. The first day I actually covered more distance as the crow flies, but it was actually a shorter ride. The second day I did quite a bit of rambling, shall we say, and retracing of my steps and wandering around in twisty roads, so it was actually longer. But on day one, Woody dropped me off in Malibu, kind of got me out of the city, and I headed up the coast through, actually right about here is where this picture was taken, that picture I just showed you. And let me see if I can actually share this screen in a different way that helps me. There we go. This way I can flip back and forth. So right about here, this is where this picture was taken on the side of the road. Look at that view. This is Highway 1 going up the coast, and there's the Pacific Ocean out there. I continued on my way. Let's angle it over a little bit here. Continued on my way up through Oxnard, where lots of strawberries that you eat in the wintertime are grown, through Ventura and up the coast, these Carpinteria, these little towns. And then in Santa Barbara, I decided, I mapped this course out ahead of time, and I wasn't sure if I was going to have time to do it, but I decided, who cares? I want to ride up into the mountains and get some mountain footage riding, because although basically up the coast there wasn't much until the next day, and I wanted to get some in. So I decided to ride up into the mountains here, and it was spectacular. Unfortunately, or it didn't really matter, but I decided not to fill up my fuel tank on the way up there, and it caused a little bit of worry on my part once I got to the top when the fuel started, the fuel light came on, but I managed to make it okay, and it was fine, but I should have filled up. It's a classic Charlie story, although I didn't run out of gas. But anyway, look at this road. On my way up into the mountains, it was absolutely wonderful, and it reminded me of this. And let me see if I can actually, sorry for all the extra clicking here, but I wanted to show you this video. This is the climate in Genoa, or the climate in Santa Barbara, is almost the same as in Genoa. And it reminded me of a ride I did. Can I share a window? Yes, I can. There it is. So this is in the days before GoPros. This is in 2009. And I literally taped a camera to the front of a vintage Vespa and rode up on the mountains above Genoa. And it felt almost exactly the same. So pardon the extremely shaky video, but I thought y'all might appreciate this. This is in 2009 on a 125 two-stroke Vespa, riding up into the hills above Genoa. There goes another Vespa. Look at this little narrow road. And it wasn't much wider in Santa Barbara. Luckily, there weren't two cars. Up through these hills, and same kind of super steep embankments. And check out this hairpin curve. Unfortunately, you can't hear the two-stroke in the background, but there's Genoa down below. There it is. Look at that. Anyway, I thought you all that was a kind of funny video. We're going to include the whole video or more of it in the longer video we do, just because I think it's kind of funny. But yeah. Anyway, it really reminded me of that and of riding several years before we even started Janus motorcycles. So yeah. Back to the trip. I continued up the coast. Here I am. There's the bike. This is just before heading up into the hills above Santa Barbara. There's the bike in Santa Barbara, up on the mountain above Santa Barbara. And very, very similar. All loaded up, taking a little break. There's a picture of the Vespa up in the mountains above Genoa. A much younger Richard Worsham with a helmet that was way too small for me. I borrowed this bike from a friend, Giacomo, in Genoa, and had a lot of fun on it. A bit older Richard with Halcyon 450. And there's the footage from up above Santa Barbara. Maybe you can't see this. Doesn't look like you can see it. That's all right. Anyway, a little further up the coast, I'll show you real quick here. That was fantastic. About at the top of this mountain is when the fuel really started getting low, and I just ended up coasting a good bit of the way down. And right about over here, I did have a spare fuel bottle. I filled it up because I didn't want to push my luck, but I didn't end up running out of fuel. Anyway, back up the coast, kept going through Lompoc, the town of Lompoc. Got a little turned around there, but kept on going. And I think it was in the town of just north of Guadalupe that I found this, and I thought y'all would appreciate. I had to stop. Halcyon Road. I did not take a turn onto Halcyon Road, but I noted it. And then on up the coast through, what do we go through? Pismo Beach and San Luis Obispo until I just picked Morro Bay on the map as a kind of midway point, but it was I was really sad to leave. Look at this. It was the most wonderful little town. Woody was ahead of me in the van, and he picked a little motel right downtown on the water. And we learned that the same little hotel room that was really cute and inexpensive, a week later would be 3 times as expensive because the season was about to start. But we timed it perfectly. There was nobody there. It was super quiet, except for the seals barking. But really wonderful little sea. It's a historic port because there's this bay, natural bay there. And I have to think that the Morro Rock, this is a massive rock out kind of in the sand, right on this in the ocean. It has to have something to do with the river and creating this natural bay. But lots of boats are moored in there, and there was a whole bunch of seals out on this rock in the middle that were just barking all night long. Pretty amazing. There's Woody in it. Woody and me had a couple of beers and a hamburger and just relaxed. It was really, really marvelous. So that was the first day. There was a lot more that happened. I'm just touching on the basics because we're running out of time. But it was fantastic, especially that trip up above Santa Barbara. Next week, look at this. There's a seal. Oh, actually, that's an otter, a sea otter, out in the. And it was cracking little seashells. Do I have a video of the? Oh, here's a seal. Let's see if it'll play. I don't know if y'all won't be able to hear the seal bark, but. Let's see if I can get a better video. Oh, here it is. This is where it climbs up out of the water. These things are massive. Anyway, Woke up real early the next morning and proceeded on my way. So that's just a little update on that. Let me check the comments and see what everybody's saying. 1100 Revelations says, outstanding live stream. I'm really getting tempted to give the 450 a test ride with checkbook in hand. Well, fantastic. You just let us know. They are a lot of fun. And I think that it will, in my experience, I've ridden a lot of different bikes. They make a really good pairing with your other bikes as well. It's not as much of a, it's just it's a different experience. It's the best thing I can say. Jordy says 450 is great. Many points made earlier are true. Lightweight versus CC volume gets back to the 30s. Why did we ever progress past the 30s? Talk to Mitch at Janus to see if there is someone close to you so you can experience it. Very true. Let's see. Dealerships in Maryland. We don't have any dealerships in Maryland, but we might be able to connect you with a owner in your area, maybe an ambassador, and maybe both of you can get a nice deal. We will try and connect you. The best thing you can do is get a hold of Mitch. Give us a call tomorrow. If you, it's easy to do, or you can send me an email and I will connect. I'll have Mitch give you a call. So Richard at Janus Motorcycles, that's my email. I get back to you, or you can just give us a call and talk to Mitch or Justin, and we'll get you set up. Yep. Jeff says, I lived in Italy for 8 years total, from Sicily to Naples, over 3 decades while serving in the Navy. Your video makes me miss my old 50cc Piaggio. Nice. You know what? I have a 50cc Vespa in my garage. It's not running right now, and my parents that was actually the first, we've had that for 25 years. It's the first two-wheel vehicle that I really rode, or first motorized two-wheel vehicle that I rode on a regular basis, and learned to shift on it and all that stuff. I really need to get it running. I bet you it's just clean out the carburetor and kick it over. It'll start right up. Okay, Dan says it's pronounced Lompoc. Okay, I have been wondering about this the entire time. Lompoc. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, the video is already shot, so I will be mispronouncing it in the video, but Lompoc. Thank you. I think that's not the first time you've corrected my pronunciation, and I appreciate it. Jeff Massey, what was your rate? Nice. Jordy, I bicycled most of those roads in my halcyon years. Joy Torino, I rode that bike over 30,000 miles. Wow. Always a sweating fuel on most rides. Any chance of bulbing out the fuel tank to hold an extra gallon? Yeah, that's a good question. What I do is put an extra fuel tank on the back. But we've had lots of requests for that. It just messes up the way it looks. I can't quite bring myself to do it. And developing that tank took so long. But we have had requests. It could be something we work on. It would really change the look. We'll see. Yep, Jordy has the same question. The 1100 Revelation says, the motorcycle must have some adventure bike in its DNA. I remember watching your video with the bikes being ridden in the mountains. Oh yeah, that's Charlie. He can take wherever you want. Dan Dempsey's Morrow Rock was mined. It is half its original size. No kidding. Very cool. I really enjoyed Morrow Bay. I really was sad to leave. It was a really fun. Jordy Field says the seals are very stinky. They weren't that stinky where we were, but yes, I've heard they can be. Mark Schaefer, thanks for another awesome Ramblestream. Always informative. Mark's on Facebook. Thank you for joining. We're going to wrap up here in about 30 seconds. 1100 Revelations. I have created an account with your company. Wonderful. Well, do more than create an account. Get a hold of us in person. We love to talk to you, and we'll be happy to answer any questions, set you up with an ambassador in your area, and work with you to bring you into the family. So wonderful. Jeremy says, sea lion mate. Seals lack opposable flippers that can support weight. Fantastic. Well, I know you covered that with us, Jeremy, but we asked some people in Morrow Bay, and they were saying, oh, it's a seal. Aha. Well, there you go. Those are sea lions. Seals lack opposable flippers that can support weight. All of them are sea lions. There we go. Well, I stand corrected. Thank you, Jeremy. Tom, AW Air Crew, retired as a CW04. Military rating. Navy, sorry. Nice. I was at AT Air Crew, retired, AVCM. Charles Selman says, can you share your Rever route of your California ride? Yes, I can. I will work to do that. So Janus Motorcycles, there's a Janus Rever group. And if you search for the Janus company group, or I don't even know what it's called on Rever. I'll figure it out. If you find the Janus team or whatever it's called, I will share those two routes on that group, and then you'll be able to find them. Yep, absolutely. And you can trace the course or ride it yourself or whatever you want to do. Jeff says, awesome Master Chief, AMC. Jordy Field, great. Crossing 2 lives here. I said too much. More ratings. And Charles Selman says, thanks. Jeremy says, nope, they're wrong. Yeah, well, I trust you to know. Jeremy's a man of the ocean, a surfer, and he knows his seals, sea lions, and sharks. 1100 Revelation says, thank you very much for this informative live stream, and thanks to everyone in the chat. Stay safe. Good night. Good night, all. Thank you very much. I think I covered everything. Yeah. Great. Wonderful comments. Good to have you all on. We had almost 80. We had 80 people on. I think that was our peak. So it was great to see you all. And I will be back next week for Ramblestream number 41, where we'll cover day 2. And I will see you all then. Thanks and good night.